Hello children, good morning. In the previous video, we have learnt that how or what are the different pathways of breakdown of glucose by different organisms. Today, we are going to do some question answers. The questions which are given in your book, page number 105, are going to solve here. Your book, page number 105. These are in-text question answers. What advantages over an aquatic organism does a terrestrial organism have with regard to obtaining oxygen for respiration? What advantage over an aquatic organism does a terrestrial organism have? Terrestrial organism have more advantage with regard to obtaining oxygen for respiration. What is that? Aquatic organisms like fishes take the oxygen dissolved in water. The oxygen dissolved in water is very less compared to the oxygen present in the air. The oxygen content of the air is higher than that of the oxygen content in the water. So terrestrial organisms take up oxygen from the atmosphere, whereas aquatic animals need to utilize oxygen present in the water. Air contains more oxygen as compared to water. Since the content of oxygen in air is high, the terrestrial animals do not have to breathe faster to get more oxygen. Therefore, unlike aquatic animals, terrestrial animals do not have to show various adaptations for better gaseous exchange. In yeast and human muscle cells, the breakdown of pyruvates occur in the absence of oxygen, whereas in mitochondria, the breakdown of pyruvates occur in the presence of oxygen. This portion is not needed here. This portion of answer is not needed here. You have to write only up to here, gaseous exchange. This portion is not needed here. Okay. This is the answer of another question. This one. Write up to here, only first paragraph. Second question. How is oxygen and carbon dioxide transported in human beings? Oxygen and carbon dioxide transported in human beings. You already know lungs. From the lungs, oxygen is transported by the blood to the heart. And from the heart, it is pumped to various organs of the animal. So hemoglobin transports oxygen molecules to all the body cells for cellular respiration. The hemoglobin pigment present in the blood gets attached to oxygen molecules, and thereafter it forms oxyhemoglobin, because hemoglobin has a high affinity to oxygen. In the alveoli, in lungs, the air filled up, the inhaled air gets filled up which has oxygen in it. The oxygen in this air combined with the hemoglobin present in the blood capillaries of the alveoli, and it is further it is transported to the heart. And from the heart, this oxygenated blood is pumped to various parts of the body. Thus, the oxygen is transported. And after cellular respiration, the carbon dioxide is collected by the blood and it send it back through the veins towards the heart. Then from the heart, it is eliminated to the lungs. Thereafter, the lungs breathe out the carbon dioxide to the outside. So the answer to this question is hemoglobin transport oxygen molecules to all the body parts for cellular respiration. The hemoglobin pigment present in the blood gets attached to oxygen molecules that are obtained from breathing. It thus forms oxyhemoglobin and the blood becomes oxygenated. This oxygenated blood is then distributed to all the body cells by the heart. After giving away oxygen to the body cells, blood take away carbon dioxide, which is the end product of cellular respiration. Now the blood becomes deoxygenated. And the fourth question, how are the lungs designed in human beings to maximize the area for exchange of gases? So you know the exchange of gases take place between the blood of the capillaries that surround the alveoli and the gases present in the alveoli. The exchange of gases take place between the blood capillaries of alveoli and the gases present inside the alveoli. So alveoli are the site of exchange of gases in the lungs, and they are the smallest units of lungs. These alveoli are rounded structures, and there are millions of alveoli in the lungs. About 300 to 350 million alveoli are there in each lungs. So this alveoli has blood capillaries surrounding it. The lungs get filled up with air during the process of inhalation, and when the ribs are lifted up and the diaphragm is flattened, the air filled up with the lungs filled up with the air. This air is rushed inside the lungs, fill the numerous alveoli present in the lungs. And these alveoli increase the surface area for gaseous exchange, making the process of respiration more efficient. Because of these air sacs, the capacity of lungs is extended to the capacity of the lung is extended. So this is the answer of that question. You write this much up to here, this paragraph and this one. So what are the basic units of lungs? Alveoli. So name the basic units, or name the units of lungs which help to increase the surface area of respiration. They are alveoli. Functional units of lungs. They are also called the functional units of lungs. These are the questions. See what advantages over. Here there is a question, second question, what are the different ways in which glucose is oxidized to provide energy in various organisms? The answer of this question is given in last video. That is why it is omitted in this part. See, question 1. After question 1 it is question 3. Question 2 is omitted from here because it is given in another video. This one. This is answer 2. What are the different ways in which glucose is oxidized to provide energy in various organisms? You must have done this answer. Now all the answers of these questions are given here. Note it down. Now we are going to learn another topic, transportation in human beings. Transportation in human beings is carried out by a system. Transportation system. This is conducted by blood vascular system and lymphatic system. There are two systems for the transportation in human beings. One is blood vascular system and second one is lymphatic system. In blood vascular system, various organs are present in it. They are the heart, blood vessels. These are the blood vessels. Here there are the blood vessels. Here in the middle there is the heart and there are blood vessels. Blood vessels of this blue color and red color. Two type of blood vessels are here. They are the blue colored blood vessels are called veins and the red colored blood vessels are called arteries. Red colored blood vessels carry oxygenated blood. They are called arteries. And the blood that carry blood the blood vessel that carry blood from the heart to the body parts, that is the blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart are called arteries. The definition of arteries is the blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart. But the blood vessels that carry blood towards the heart are called veins. You can see the arrow mark given here. The blood vessels that carry blood towards the heart and away from the heart. So these are the blood vessels. These two blood vessels are exceptional cases. They take blood from the heart to the lungs and from the lungs to the heart. For what? For oxygenation and deoxygenation. So the oxygenated blood, now we have seen that the oxygenated blood is blood from the lungs is taken to the heart. The blood vessels that carry blood towards the heart, that is a vein. The blood vessel that carry blood towards the heart, bringing blood from the lungs to the heart, that is a vein. The blood vessel that take blood away from the heart to the lungs, that is an artery. So this is the only one artery which carry deoxygenated blood, that is pulmonary artery. The only one artery which carry deoxygenated blood is pulmonary artery. The single vein which carry oxygenated blood is the pulmonary vein. The word pulmonary is related to lungs. The word pulmonary is related to lungs. So these are exceptional cases. All blood vessels, all arteries, all the arteries except pulmonary artery carry oxygenated blood. And all the veins except pulmonary vein carry deoxygenated blood. Pulmonary vein carry oxygenated blood and pulmonary artery carry deoxygenated blood. And here the main vein of the body is called vena cava. The biggest vein which join all the other veins join vena cava, and this vena cava bring blood to the right atrium of the heart. So heart has 4 chambers. Now we are going to learn the structure of the heart. Heart has 4 chambers in it. The atrium and ventricles. The four chambers of heart, the upper two chambers are called atrium. This is the right atrium and this is the left atrium. Two atrium and two ventricles, right ventricle and left ventricle. Right and left ventricle. So four chambered heart human beings have four chambered heart. Upper two atrium and lower two ventricles. And there are valves in the heart. The valve that open from atrium to ventricle. The valve that open from atrium to ventricle. And the valve that open from ventricles to outside to the blood vessel. From ventricle to the main blood vessel. There are valves. And there is a middle separating wall that is called septum. The heart has a middle dividing wall of right and left part of the heart. Right atrium and right ventricle is separated by from the left atrium and left ventricle by septum. This is to avoid mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, because oxygenated blood is in the left part of the heart and deoxygenated blood is coming in the right part of the heart. To avoid the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, there is septum in between. And the heart muscles are specially designed muscles. It is called cardiac muscle. Heart muscles are called cardiac muscle. They are very efficient muscles, tireless muscles, and they are very strong. And now the blood vessels. There are arteries and veins and small capillaries are there. Here you can see only arteries and veins in the initial part of the heart. The veins and arteries which are joined to the heart are main blood vessels. Here there is vena cava. Vena cava bring deoxygenated blood to the heart. There are two vena cava, the upper vena cava and the lower vena cava. Upper vena cava bring blood from upper part of the body to the right atrium, and lower vena cava bring blood from the lower part of the body to the right atrium. So in the right atrium, the deoxygenated blood is filled. From there, from the right atrium, the deoxygenated blood is poured into the right ventricle. Deoxygenated blood is poured into the right ventricle from the upper atrium through this valve, tricuspid valve it is. It is tricuspid valve. So through this valve it is poured into the ventricle. Now after pouring the blood, this valve close. This valve always open to one side. This valve always open to one side, from the atrium to the ventricle, not vice versa. After pouring the blood, the ventricular pressure increase and the valve shut off. Now, when the ventricular pressure increase, it began to contract and this valve opened. This valve opened to the pulmonary arteries. This valve opened from the ventricles to the pulmonary arteries. The pulmonary artery branched here to two lungs. Each branch of artery go to each lungs. For what? To remove carbon dioxide from the blood and mix oxygen it will bring the blood, oxygenated blood, back to the heart. Now it is going to the lungs to remove carbon dioxide from the blood. So the pulmonary artery carry blood to the lungs, and from the lungs the pulmonary veins take back oxygenated blood and which bring to the other part of the heart, that is the left atrium. The oxygenated blood is brought back from the lungs to the left atrium, and from the left atrium it is poured to the left ventricle, and from the left ventricle again the valve shut off, the valve in between atrium and ventricle shut off, and now the blood is pumped through the aorta. Through the aorta. Aorta is the biggest artery which carry blood from the heart to various parts of the body, and after that aorta branched out into many small branches, and it carry blood to the upper part of the body and also the lower part of the body, and to everywhere it is branched out and the blood is supplied from the heart. So the main blood vessel, artery, which carry blood from the heart to, which carry oxygenated blood from the heart to the other parts of the body, is aorta. Aorta, A-O-R-T-A. So this is all about the pumping of the blood. You draw this diagram of heart and label the parts. Draw the diagram of heart and label the parts. Now all the parts are familiar to you. You repeatedly hear the explanation. After hearing the explanation 2-3 times, you will be familiar with the working of the heart. So this is one thing about heart. The second thing is, this is transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Schematic representation of transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. This diagram also you have to draw in your copy. This one shows double circulation. In one complete circulation, the heart pumps blood 2 times. The first time to the lungs and the next time to the body parts. First time to the lungs and second time to the body parts. To show double circulation, this diagram is there. First, deoxygenated blood is pumped through pulmonary artery to the lungs, and from there oxygenated blood come back through the pulmonary vein to the left atrium, and from the left atrium it is pumped, the oxygenated blood is from the left atrium it is poured to the left ventricle, and from the ventricle the oxygenated blood is pumped to all over the body through aorta. And again from the cells the deoxygenated blood is collected and bring back to the right atrium by vena cava. And this whole process is known as double circulation. So the circulation in human being is known as double circulation. So this is all about the circulation and heart. Now here there is explanation about all these things. And in these 2 things I am not explained systole and diastole. That means systole means contraction of cardiac muscle is called systole. The contraction of ventricles and auricles or atrium. Contraction of ventricles, atrium. It is called a systole. And diastole is the relaxation of these chambers. When the cardiac muscles relax, the expansion of atrium and ventricles take place. They are termed as systole and diastole. And I told you arteries, veins, capillaries. And now blood contains certain components. Blood is a connective tissue. You have learnt it in class 9, which plays the role of carrier for various substances in the body. Blood carry oxygen, blood carry carbon dioxide, blood carry food, nutrients, water, hormones, so many things. Blood is composed of plasma, blood cells and platelets. plasma, blood cells RBC and WBC, and platelets. Okay. Now in another video we will learn more about some more thing about circulatory system. Till then, bye.